Greetings from the Casa de Single Wide News Studios. Leroy, your humble reporter, at your service. Well, we got some wonderful stuff going on in Washington, D.C. They're trying to push through this new Equality Act. Now, that sounds wonderful on the surface, but then again, so did the Patriot Act, which allowed them to spy on everybody in the entire country without a warrant. Obama renewed it. Trump let it expire, the tyrant that he was. But for the most part, it's the same old. It's the same old, same old. Don't discriminate against people because of their race or their sexual orientation and so on. And I believe in that 100% when it comes to jobs and promotions and education and so on and so forth. Everyone should have equal rights. And as consenting adults, I don't care who you have sex with. I don't. The Bible, may list it as a sin, but I guarantee there's 100 or 1,000 things that I do that the Bible lists as a sin too. So I'm not going to be the one to stare you down and tell you that you're going to hell for what you're doing, because the Lord's Prayer tells me that I'm only going to be forgiven as well as I forgive you. So, you got my forgiveness, because I got a bunch to be forgiven for. The part of it that I do have a problem with is transgender women, that is, men who were born biologically male, especially competing in women's sports. They have a biological advantage. I'm sorry, that little extra Y chromosome in there makes a difference. There's more upper body strength, there's more lung capacity, tends to be taller, longer legs, run faster, hit harder, makes it a little easier to dunk a basketball when you're a foot closer to the basket. So aside from ruining women's sports, track, right now women's track, it's dominated by biological males who associate with being women, and they're just wiping out the last 50 years of records of all the women, and I think that's wrong, because these women could be, if they were competing against biological women, there's scholarships, there's Olympics, there's all kinds of things that would have been open to them if this was not considered some sort of a norm. And there was an MMA fighter, Fallon Fox, a transgender female. Now, as a male, he couldn't compete in the MMA. He'd gotten beat down. But he went over to the female side, took hormones for a week or whatever it was, and competed with females. Well, he was in with a top flight MMA fighter, Erica Newsom, and he busted her skull, ended her career as an MMA fighter, ruined her entire life, ruined her career, ruined her life. She said she had never felt so overpowered in her life. This transgender took her head and bashed it across his knee and crushed her skull. That's what I have a problem with, is men beating up on women. I was taught when I was knee-high to a grasshopper, you don't hit a girl. I had an older sister that was 3 years older than me. If she smacked me around, I hit her back. I got the whipping. You don't hit girls. I just saw the other day, there's like a 50-year-old guy, looks like he's 7 feet tall compared to all of the other college girls. He goes to college and he's the hero. Just like this Fallon Fox. Oh, how heroic. Oh, he's come out as a transgender and is beating the crap out of women. Yeah, I got a problem with that. But this 7 foot tall, 50-year-old guy decides he'll, transgender female, as if you can pull that Y chromosome out. Genes, genes, they mean something. Your chromosome's part of your genes. You can't change the genes. It doesn't matter how many. It doesn't matter how many drugs you take, how many hormone suppressors you take, how many hormone blockers you take. It doesn't matter how much estrogen you pump into your body. You're not getting rid of that XX chromosome or that XY chromosome. Now, somebody wants me to call them, and I have a good friend that is transgender, a transgender male, and prefers male pronouns and a male name, and I will use it when I am in their presence. And I have no problem with it. Gender dysphoria has to be one horrible thing to have to deal with. And however that individual, if they're 18 and over, wants to deal with it, God bless them. I hope they find the right solution so that they can feel comfortable in their bodies. But what I'm not seeing is transgender men joining men's sports and dominating anything, ever. Ever. There is a biological, ain't nothing you can do to change it, difference. Now, I had 2 daughters. I mentioned this in an earlier video, but I'm going to mention it again. Now, here's another danger factor to passing this legislation that legally forces biological men. It forces the women to allow biological men into their bathrooms and into their locker rooms. Now, as a father of 2 young girls, if their mother wasn't around and I took them to a public restroom, I stood guard outside. I made sure that one of them stood at the door, the other one checked the bathroom out to make sure there wasn't somebody crazy in there, and then they would go in together, and I would stand outside the door, and if a man tried to walk in that bathroom, he would have had a bad day coming. It never happened, thank goodness, because I'd have put their head through a wall. He could have either waited or gone to the other bathroom or used the handicap stall the next time, because there ain't no way he would be walking in on my little girls. And it's going to cause some major problems. Don't call it science to me. Don't call this, well, I feel like it. I just feel like I'm a girl in my head. So I'm going to go in there and pee standing up next to your daughter. No, you're not. No, you're not. Because the way I felt between my ears and the way I feel between my ears, men shouldn't be going into public restrooms with little girls. I think it's dangerous. Do my feelings count? That's hardwired into a father. I'm going to protect my kids. And I do believe that most men out there that aren't absolute scumbags are going to do the same thing. So these people need to worry about these transgenders that are all full of unicorn farts and all that crap and think, I'm just another girl that shaves twice a frickin' day. They're looking for an ass whooping. This is a little teeny tiny minority of people. Now there's things that I disagree with 99% of the people on. And guess what? I just have to get used to the fact that some people are going to disagree with me. And if most people disagree with me, then I'll say my piece and I'll back off because I'm in the minority. I'm the one that has to adjust. The rest of the world does not have to bend to Leroy's touchy little feelings. But they're going to vote on it. And the Democrats got the majority. They tried to push all this through when Trump was in office, but the Senate wasn't having any of it. And Trump said he'd veto it if it ever got to him, as well he should have. I don't believe in men whooping up on women. And I don't care what they think they are between their ears. They have the physical strength of a man. So, that's my take on the subject. That's the problem that I have with what they're calling equality. It's not equality to have men beating up on women and stealing their right to compete in sports. And stealing their right, the majority of the people's right, to feel as comfortable as possible in a public restroom or locker room. Because I got news for you. Well, I just don't feel comfortable in a public restroom. Nobody feels comfortable in public restrooms. I hate them. Everybody hates them. When you got to go, you got to go. But no place poops like home, does it? Well, that's all I got on this subject. Just thought I'd share it with you. Y'all have a wonderful, wonderful day. Please like, share, subscribe. Click that little dinger bell so they notify you when I come out with a new one, because I'm trying to put out about 2 or 3 a day. And I love you, everyone. God bless you. God bless America. You have a wonderful, wonderful day, and I will talk to you very, very soon. Bye now.